Okay, testing. Well, there we go. Looks like we have sound on now. I am going to test the chat. Yeah, interesting. If anybody ever sees this, do not panic. I am simply testing to see what it looks like to go live here. And, it looks like I am actually set up. Oh, hello. There are actually people in the chat. Look at that. I'm just testing things to see if it works. And so far it has been working. And yeah, the goal would be to at some point, do some Q&As about the Bible and different related issues, but I have to figure out how to get this to work. And so that is the goal then. Shalom. Yes, excellent. From New Zealand and Bogota, Colombia. Excellent. Well, that's fun. That's fun that I have a chat here, although it doesn't show up on on the screen that you see probably, but I can see it on my screen, so that's kind of fun. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It is good to be live, I suppose. Oh, good. Excellent. Yeah, I always wondered if the sound quality is better or worse with live, because a lot of times I actually record it external when I post the videos and podcasts. Ooh, India. Wow, Swan, good to see you, brother. You are a brand new father and enjoying that. So good to see you, brother. Yeah, a lot of people checking in. That's really neat. I didn't expect anybody to be in the chat, but that's fun to see so many people jump on here. So that's really cool. Hey, so question for some of you who are in the chat. So I'm thinking about how to incorporate some of the live streams, and I think it would be really fun to do maybe like a Saturday live stream once or twice a month or something, and just do questions and field what people are thinking through in the Bible. Obviously, I don't have all the answers, but it would be kind of fun to talk about those things. And I always like being challenged and learning and growing too. So I'm just curious if that would be something that you think would be a good idea, to see somebody do a live stream like myself and, just work through some, biblical issues live, as it were, and could bring up, Logos. In fact, I better test that and see if my Logos works here for the live stream. So if I do that, yeah, like everyone can see the text then, I'm assuming. Sweet. Yeah, it looks like it's working well, at least on the live stream there. Yeah, it's I've not done the live stream before, but it should hypothetically be very similar to what I did with the recording. Sometimes I use the OBS Studio to record when I do a video review. Maybe some of you guys have seen that before. And so I assumed it would be pretty similar. Oh, nice. Yes, Discovering Dispensationalism and The Old and the New. Man, those are great books. Love those books. You are in for a treat for reading. Yeah, today outside we were supposed to get I see that you had mentioned, somebody mentioned that the Bogota got a blizzard in no. Okay, it was in 1978, the year of the blizzard in the U.S. Okay, I see what I was saying. There was supposed to be a blizzard here in North Carolina. That's why it caught my eye. And alas, we have zero snow where I'm at in North Carolina, but there's a lot of snow around us. All right, there we go. See if that works. And so it's unfortunate that my kids were really looking forward to sledding, but this is good. Yeah, so I can't tell, honestly, I'll have to figure out how to tell how many people are on the live stream, because apart from seeing people say hello in the chat, I can't tell. No, that's not the one I wanted. How about this one? Okay, so I can do the same kind of thing. All right, looks like all my technology is working well. Yeah, so I think there was, I think there's some possibility of doing some Q&As. I can see everyone dropping their messages in the chat. So maybe that's what we'll do in the future is I'll try to send out an email, tell people what time we could log on, and we could all just hang out and talk Bible and work through some issues. I think that'd be fun. I did want to just make one comment on the live stream. Anybody who's watching this after the fact, I don't know how that works. I assume it'll just post to the channel. But so one of the cool things, I did mention this in an email, but I'm on sabbatical this semester, so I'm not teaching classes. So I'm studying and trying to write a few books. I could talk more about that in the future. But I am, as a part of that, I'm trying to figure out a schedule where I can be even more helpful on the podcast and the YouTube channel as well. So I think that would be helpful to do like a live stream, just kind of update people what I'm learning, what I'm researching, writing on, and just kind of fill them in from that perspective as well. So those are some ideas I had, but it'll be interesting to see if it works technologically. So I'm excited for that possibility at least. Okay, so on that note, before I log off from this test stream, any final burning questions? Yes, Daniel, good to see you. I was hoping you'd show up, Daniel. That's I was thinking, okay, if I go live, maybe it'll work with across the pond timing wise. Yeah, because I just wanted to test it out. The goal would be kind of to do some of this later and work that in for some interaction between some of the people who are regular listeners. So yeah, so okay, I'll just mention some of the books that I'm working on. So I got 3 that are in the pipe because since I'm on sabbatical, like I mentioned. So the biggest project is Dr. Pettigrew, Larry Pettigrew, one of my mentors, was writing a book on the day of the Lord when he passed away 2 years ago. Yesterday was actually, I believe, the anniversary of I think 2 years ago. Yeah, yesterday was the day he had passed away. And so I have the privilege of trying to finish that book that he was working on. He didn't finish it. I'd say he was about 75% of the way writing on the day of the Lord. And so just as a gift to him and to his family, I'm trying to finish that. So you could pray for me if you think about that. That's a big project. And then I have 2 smaller books that I'm working on as well. One is on I've had a lot of interaction with Christians on the issue of self-discipline and self-control, how important that is. And so I'm actually writing a booklet that could be of use for the church on that. So that's a big passion for the church. And then also, I've just seen a lot of confusion on imprecatory psalms. And so I'm trying to do a book on that as well. That one will probably take a little bit longer, but that's the goal, is to work through those things. And yeah, I think that ideally, if the schedule keeps up over the semester and the Lord gives me strength and grace, would love to see each of those projects come to completion over the semester for sure. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Sergio. I would love to do lots of things live. It does have a different feel to it. I love kind of the responding. It kind of reminds me a little bit of class. A lot of times in class when I'm on Zoom or something, if I'm lecturing to the students, sometimes there'll be questions coming through the chat and it just keeps a different feel for it. And yeah, would love to do some things like that. You know, I would like to do some eschatology debates, Daniel, like the all-mill, post-mill. That's definitely something that's in people's eyes for discussion. So maybe that would happen in the future for sure. So day of the Lord, the same as the day of Christ in 2 Thessalonians. I tend to think it is, but I haven't completed my study on those things yet. But I tend to think the day of the Lord and day of Christ would be the same. And sometimes in the Old Testament, it's just referred to as the day. So I'll have more of a firm idea as I'm concluding that project, but I tend to think that that's what it is right now. Yeah, so it's a privilege and exciting to work on these things. Well, I appreciate you saying that about my thoughtful approach to the topics. You know, I just trying to be faithful and helpful in working through this. Also, in one sense, it's easy to try to, I guess, help people when I myself feel like I need a lot of help. So I don't know, that motivates me a lot, is I feel like there's no easy answers, so we have to work hard to get there for those ideas. So there was a question about being a Calvinist, 5 points. So it's funny, especially for being labeled a dispensationalist. I would also get labeled a Calvinist. I'm not a huge fan of labels just in general, and that comes from my interactions and I guess influence of MacArthur. MacArthur would often say things like, labels confuse people sometimes because whatever they think the label means, that's what they end up using to apply to you. So I don't introduce myself with labels, but technically I would be labeled both dispensationalist and Calvinist. I don't go, shaking hands saying, hello, I'm a Calvinist dispensationalist, and then immediately just leaving it there. So usually I just try to explain to people what that means. But the issue on the 5 points of Calvinism is that I'm not as strong. It depends on how people would define the limited atonement idea. That's the tough one for me, is that I'm just not as confident as some of my brothers and sisters who are Calvinists with saying that Christ did not die for the world at all, when the Bible seems to say that in some capacity. So we could do a podcast on that at some point, just because that would be a good discussion to have for sure. Yeah, Daniel, have a good night, brother. Thanks for logging on. Would you think that the day covers the millennium as well, seeing that there is one more war at the end? Yeah, that's a good question. I will reserve answer on that particular aspect, just because the end of the millennium includes that rebellion with Satan, and I think my indication would be that's kind of a special epilogue to the whole concept of the day of the Lord, including judgment and blessing. But it could include that. I'll have to think through that, obviously, as I go through that. But I do think just the day of the Lord as a whole includes both judgment and blessing. That seems to be clear from the prophets. So that would have to include the millennial kingdom. I really appreciate that. I love being a favorite Calvinist to my non-Calvinist brothers and sisters. That's a great compliment. I'll take that. And I would also say I am just blown away. I definitely love my non-Calvinist brothers and sisters. I think there's no reason to come to the old English phrase fisticuffs over some of these things. We can have passionate arguments and discussions, but in general, I think it's helpful to be Daniel's going to be so upset with me at the end of these things. That's the problem with these live streams, is all my baggage gets just put out there. I can't edit it out, so you guys are fully aware of just how terrible of a person I am. So unfortunately, I won't be at Churchman, although I really, really want to get there. That's a conference down there in Jupiter, Florida, that Jerry Ragg's church puts on. And, oh, man, I really want to get down there, but it just won't work this semester since I'm on sabbatical. I'm trying to cut out any extraneous extra travel and just focus on the writing and research and then family time. Did I miss anything else? I think that's pretty close there. Your channel is so underrated. I've been binge watching a lot of your videos. Oh, that's so kind. Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it's just, that's super encouraging. Well, I promised my family I wouldn't spend too long up here. So this has already been really fun. A lot more fun than I didn't expect anyone to log on. I was just going to test everything quick, but then you guys all surprised me by showing up. So, good for you guys. No, this has been fun, but I'll try to, if you're on the mailing list for the Bible Sojourner for the articles, I try to send out an email every 2 weeks or so. I'll try to include a note in there when the next live stream will be, so that you could kind of plan ahead, or plan ahead on when you don't want to be online. That would work too. So I'll try to let everyone know when that's going to happen, and then you guys can come with all your questions and show how much I don't know, because that's so easy to do. So that would be a fun thing to do. Okay. So many other questions are being added there. I just have to look away from the chat now, because we got to call it good for the day. I told my family I'd hang out with them. So, all right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks for the encouragement, and thanks for the questions too. Really appreciate that. And Lord willing, we'll be able to do more of these in the future. So Lord bless you all. And gotta say it, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and make his face shine upon you.